Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast from Feeling Alive Project. I am Anna, your host for today. Joining me, we have Claudia, our host for also two of our last episodes. And today we are going to talk about something very close to our daily lives: identity, and what it means to be you while also being young. Being young often means figuring out who we are, our passions, what we don't like, our labels, deciding who we are this day, because maybe we are not the same every day. And joining me today, besides Claudia, we also have Luis and Barbara.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us one more time. And to start, as usual, I will give you a very deep and personal question. But of course, you are free to answer as much as you want. What words would you use to describe yourselves usually, to introduce who you are?
To introduce myself to someone new,
Yes.
okay. So I would say probably hello, my name is Luis. My age, I am 21 years old. I am probably 99% of the time say that I am not Portuguese. I was actually born in Brazil. Okay, so yeah, I mean, Portuguese people can notice by the accent anyways, but I usually say that anyways. Um, I would probably say that I am a student, that I study at Coimbra. I would say that I live in Aveiro. I don't know what else I would say, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you're already giving a lot of
I mean, it depends a lot of the context.
Of course.
Like I'm trying to think if I'm meeting someone I don't know, I'm going to a friend's birthday and there is friends in common, not friends in common, someone in common that is there. And then the person asks hello, how are you? Who are you? It's yeah, my name is Luis. I'm friend of blah, blah, blah. And then I describe myself, as I said, probably I don't know,
No, that's good.
maybe it's too much information.
I don't think there is a wrong or a right way to introduce yourself, so that's okay. What about you, Barbara?
I usually just say my name. I don't usually say anything else because I just get too anxious and I wait for the other person to ask first or just say first. And if the other person says the age, where they have school or something, I'll say, oh, I'm from here. Or if it's from the same university, I'll say too.
Which why are you?
No, now I'm thinking better. And I don't think I would say all of the information in the same sentence, just once. That would be probably a conversation what's your name? Then I am Luis. You see, changing information.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's kind of psycho just to say everything in one sentence.
So, being young, this can be like a huge process of self-discovery. Sometimes it's exciting, sometimes it can be confusing, and sometimes can even be really hard. So, do you feel like you know who you are, or are you still figuring out who you are?
Well, I think that for someone on my age, and okay, now I'm gonna do something bad, but comparing myself to the people on my age, my friends around me, I would say that I know pretty much of who I am, but I also assume that there is a lot of stuff for me that I need to get to know about myself. There is plenty of things, mainly about the future, that I know that I cannot define about me right now. But I would say that I know myself really well. Is that being egocentric? No.
No.
No, I think
Not
that's a
at
great
all.
thing.
No, I think I'm about the same. I know who I am in some ways, but I know there are going to be other ways that I still don't know who I am because I still didn't get those experiences. So it's still in the middle.
And what parts of your identity do you feel are more important to right now?
First, I think can you define identity? So because maybe
Yeah.
if we jump, so what parts of our identity? What exactly is a part of our identity? What would you say it's a part of this construct?
I would say that identity is something that each person has its own, so it's different for everyone, and it's like, how can I explain? It's the thing that it differentiates you from another person. So it can be like physically, or it can be about your opinions, like your physical identity. It's not identity. It's another word, but I mean, it's like each person has its own. It's different for everyone, and it's like based on your the way that you're being raised, like the environment that you grow up. It's like it changes your personality, or like the way that you think, or the way that you make certain decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of a lot of stuff, like what we like, how we act, like in instinct, like what's the first act we think of when something happens, or how we think about someone else, like if we just don't like anyone, or if we have a little bit of empathy or not. It's basically just morals too. It's this whole mix together that makes our identity
Mm-hmm.
and who we are and who we're gonna figure out who we're gonna be.
Good. Yes, thank you. Has there been any moment where you felt really proud of your identity or a part of your identity? Something that you value?
I feel really proud of myself every day.
But for some specific part of yourself?
Yes, for the specific part of my identity that I am really trustful on myself. Like I really trust on me for everything that I'm gonna do. I have a lot of I believe on me. So if I'm gonna have like an exam next week, and like I just study as much as I can, because I know that I can do it, and it's a part of my identity that it's really important for me, because it's helped me every day. Like it's part
Mhm.
of my daily routine. So
Self-confidence is important.
that's the word.
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, I think it's, for me, it's when I can do something like just on my own without any help. Like just something simple, because I don't like just going out of my way and doing things alone, because I'll just
Mhm.
get too in my head thinking everybody's looking at me. I know they aren't, but it just feels like it. But when I do, and I just do, and then when I get back home, I feel proud that, okay, I did it, nothing bad happened, and it's okay.
Thank you.
So, because honestly, our identities, which are a construct that we do throughout our lives, whether there is gender, culture, interest, background, family life, all of these constructs, basically our identity, they influence how we feel, as you both already said. And for example, Luigi said, for example, you feel very confident in yourself. So, how do you think these constructs affect your day to day? And do you think, for example, that other people also, for example, affect your self-identity?
I think my self-identity, like my identity in general, reflects on my daily routine, because the decisions I am doing on day to day, I do that because of the way that I think. For example, if today I'm taking like the X choice, it's because my mind thinks in a way that that's the better option. But in a different environment, like in a different reality, I could have a different like backgrounds or different opinion about some topic. And instead of the X choice, I would choose Y, for example. So, and I know like there are some really small stuff on our identity, like really small things that changes our lives, like the way that we think. And this can change like one choice that will impact on your whole future, even though it can be like just a small choice of that day, you see? And I think you said other people's identity in fact reflect on us.
No, if other people reflect on your own identity. So if other people shape the way you identify.
I wouldn't say shape, but I wouldn't say that at some level they change it. because shape would be like the whole shape, everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I can be, at least personally, be influenced from other people. I am really open to listen to different people opinions, or to listen to different like ideas, and I'm really open to try to understand new things from different cultures or languages or whatever, like areas, fields of study, anything. And if I want to be an open person for like this type of knowledge, I need to know that this type of knowledge may change what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah.
So I might like something right now, but when I start to studying like really deep about that, or researching or reading about that, I need to know that what I'm reading might change what I'm thinking right now. And this can be someone's opinion, this can be someone's thought, this can be just like we're sitting in a friend's table when we're talking about something, which is really common. Like nowadays, everyone talks about politics, and it's something like I daily change opinions about politics, about many topics, because I see different news that people talk about different stuff. So yeah, definitely people can affect on our identities, and I think it's really easy to happen actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people can shape our identity, but not the whole thing, just a small part of it. Because if you realize that your identity is shaped by only other people's opinions, you'll be no one, you won't know who you are, and you'll be like one different person to each person. So you'll just end up not knowing who you are, and you will feel bad about it, because at some point you will feel just lost in life, and like nobody can help you because you've just been trying to please everyone around you and not find out who you actually are. So people can affect, and maybe they should a little bit, but not your whole identity. You need to know by yourself who you are first, and be confident about it too.
I think Louise has an opinion about this.
Yeah, not in general actually.
Yeah.
It might sound a little bit really out of the box, but it happens to like 99% of the people.
Yeah.
Something about someone else that it can shape your identity, it's love.
Yeah.
Like when you love someone, or when someone loves you, or it can be just like parents love, you might disagree to something that they say, or you might don't like what they say, but once you love them, like your parents for example, you might shape your opinions to easy situations. I can give you a practical example. So you want to hang out and your parents doesn't feel that much comfortable with that, but once you love them, you will shape what you want, just to do not create more like confusion, you see, like some tense between.
Yeah, but for example, in this case, you're not necessarily changing your identity, or how do you see yourself? You're just accommodating their needs or what they think it's better. So you're not really changing yourself. Like if this makes you never go out again because you start thinking, oh, maybe it's not a good idea, then it changes you. But if you're just trying to kind of find a common ground to ease the situation, I think those are two very different things.
Okay, so maybe that was not the best practical example, but I also have like personally things that I have changed on myself because of people that I love, and will make that comfortable. And it can be like, it could be a past habit that I used to have and now I don't have anymore. And this is probably gonna happen to everyone.
Yeah.
Like at some point, love is gonna like change your personality in a way because of it. So
Yeah, no, I think I was actually surprised that you gave the example of love specifically. But I do think love can be one of the things that, for good or bad, because then you have the two sides, it can make you a little better or worse, depending also on our own definitions of what is bad and worst. But it definitely shapes you. And would you say that, for example, for what you account to be your identity, so how you would usually feel in your daily lives and who you know you are, that you are free to show this every day or at every situation? Or do you feel like maybe sometimes you don't have the space for that?
I don't feel like I have the space for it every time, because I need to be comfortable first with the people around me and the place around me. If I go somewhere new that I don't know anything about, I will not just show who I am 100%. I need to be really comfortable with that person. It's a slow process, but if I end up trusting them or liking them and see if we align in some way, then I'll start showing some stuff.
I agree with Barbara because the same happens to me. I really need to feel comfortable with some people to just show all myself, like at least have some truth in between. But there are also certain occasions that you need to, then it's not changing, but you need to accommodate our identity in a way because of that situation. So for example, I do jokes all the time and I'm really talking all the time with everyone and laughing all the time. But for example, when in work or when in a formal meeting or something like that, I wouldn't say change, but I would say like just adjust my identity for the occasion. And that doesn't mean it's not because I'm not comfortable. It means because it's just the more correct for the situation, you see?
Yes, but that means it doesn't mean like stop being yourself. You are still yourself, but in a different setting.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. We all have different settings. For
Yeah.
example, that was a great example because, for example, I am the same. I would say that I identify myself or I see myself the same way in work and in my personal life. But of course, that in work, I'm a little more polished that I am not in my personal life because I have no need to be that polished in my personal life. But I'm still myself, so I don't really change those things that are my essence. But I do adjust for the context I'm sitting in at the moment. And so, because identities are, for some people, they are very simple things. So it's very clear. And they can also be a struggle. So for some people, they are still on the process. But I do think that we will be always on the process to figuring out who we are. Because even though it's clear for me, maybe today I'm this and tomorrow I'm not. So this can also be interchangeable. Do you think that also being young, so being of a younger age, whatever that actually means, makes this a little harder?
Yes. And the reason for me, it's because once our identity is based on the environment that we are, like it's much more, the environment of young people changed much more like daily to day than from an adult person. So for example, you're like 35, you have the same job for like the past 10 years, you have your car, your family, kids, parents and everything. Fine. You go to the work every day, you see the same people, you come home, you have your kids, and that's it. Then imagine that you keep that, it lasts for the next 5 years. For the next 5 years, you'll have quite the similar everyday environment. But then for a young person, I think the environment is changing every day, like way harder than it's for someone when they're in their 30s, for example. I think someone on my age, for example, 21 or Barbara's age, whatever, we see way more different stuff every day than someone who is on their 30s. This is relative.
No, that is very interesting perspective.
This is relative because
from a couple of years further down the line, it is very interesting because for an older person, it's also different every day. And sometimes figuring out your identity only comes really later in life because sometimes that's when you build the confidence to really assume who you are. So even if you have kids, your kid is going to be a different person every day because he's growing, or he or she, and they are growing and they are changing. And you as a parent, I assume, are also changing and adjusting and adapting who you are. Because sometimes you also need to adjust to the personality of your kid, to the mood that day. And I think it's really a process where everyone is changing. And it's fun to see because nowadays not everyone gets to get the same job for a couple of years. And even going to the job, sometimes it's the same, sometimes it's not, because the mood is different. And it's very interesting that the perspective on life, from what I pick up on what you said, is like in the future, you will have more stability. And from experience, I can assure you
You're
that's
not.
Yes, I completely agree with what you said. But then there is another small detail that changes the way that I see. It's that even that someone older is facing different things every day, we can agree that they will probably have faced it more times than someone at the age of 19. Like they have more experience. It's not all the occasions, but I think someone older probably has more experience, so they might know better how to deal with different environments, you see. And I'm saying by myself because comparing to the most adults that I know, like personally in some level, the ones that I know, they are really more like they are more responsible, they are more critical when thinking, they usually will know how to do best choices than me because they have previous experiences. So yeah, my daily life changes every day, their daily lives changes every day, but they might know how to react better.
They have better tools.
Yes, or more polished tools.
Yeah, because going back a little, this is what I wanted to clarify, for example, because you said, for young people, it's a little harder because our everyday, it's different. So where is it different that might impact on this specifically? So on how you view yourself, because as not a much older person, I still feel like every day it's different, as Claudia was saying. So I don't think this ever stops from being like this. So I wanted to clarify this specifically of what exactly is the thing that
we pass through more different not environments in general. So for example, from your, I would say 10 to your like 25, you face like, I don't know, 6 or 7 different environments in general for like the couple of years. So you have like elementary school, then you have like basic schools, high school, bachelor's, and then master's, like until 25. And then when I'm comparing to someone of like 35 years old, I'm going for the standard, like someone who is probably working and might not have a stability, but it probably has a routine, and it will keep this routine for more years than someone will keep like the routine of studying when the age of 19. Because when you're 19 during the secondary, you will start the 10th grade and you will finish at the 12th grade. But when you are an adult and you have to work, like you don't know if you're gonna finish that work, you don't know if you're gonna start a new one, you don't know if like how long it's gonna last, you see. So it's like we know that we're gonna face this different stuff because it will happen anyways. Like it's already like it's the rule, it's the pattern, you see. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, because my thing is, this can be just to make it clear, and I think it's very subjective because sometimes, for example, we are talking about being young, so this will be our focus, but being young can be a number, or it can be a mindset, it can be a way of being, because I think in real life, sometimes age doesn't mean more experience or more anything, because I've experienced life as a 21, a 19-year-old, a 26 at the moment, and I will experience 30 and so more. And I've met also people in the different age groups, and I can say that sometimes you both sitting here with me have more experience or are more mature than people I've met with 30, 40, 50. So this is all about the experience. And I think for some young people, because they have maybe tougher experiences, this can make it harder, not because, for example, they know they are going to have to forcibly pass through these steps, but because they have a bunch of other things that will even more broaden the complication of our identity and being young itself. So I just wanted to kind of make this bridge because, of course, because being young, if we're talking about biologically, yes, you have a bunch of other hormones and other things that do come and play into the way we react to stuff. Also, our personalities are also a big part of that. But we have a bunch of other motives of why young people for example, in teenage years, which is not your case, sorry, not teenagers anymore. But for example, when we are teenagers, we feel things in a very specific way. Everything is so dramatic, and we are so in love with that person. And then when we are 25, we are like, I didn't even like that person that much. So it's so in some cases in our life, we have other things that balance how we feel and our identity and how we go throughout. But to say that, I do think young people have it harder nowadays, but I would like to understand why you think is this, besides, for example, just the life-changing daily, because that's the thing that honestly you will probably face till you're like 100. Because you're probably both going to get to 100 because medical care is better nowadays.
Now it's not enough to 100. we hope it's going to be better in the future. Yeah, I agree.
No, but yeah, because I would like, for example, what other things do you think as young people might change your perception of your identity? What other things that maybe older, because I do think there are factors that you deal with that people older don't actually care that much about.
Pleasing people.
Pleasing people.
Because we're young, we're like, okay, I need to please this person, and I need everyone around me to be pleased with me. And I've talked with my parents more than once, and sometimes they say, oh, because I'm older, I really don't care that much about what people think about me anymore, but I remember when I was younger that I used to care a lot more. So it's normal for you to care right now, but it's a process to just slowly not care that much about what people think of you. But yeah.
Related to what Barbara said, I think it's more important for the new generations to please the other people, because it's really easy nowadays to just share everything. Like the way of the things are flowing nowadays, it's way more fluid than it was in the past because of technology. Everything is easier nowadays because of technology, and I think it influences a lot on how people shape it about their identity. Like in the same example that Barbara said, older people didn't give that much attention to what like other people thinks, because if someone thinks something and they say and it's spread, okay, but if they don't, it keep their opinions. But now when you have internet, you can just like go anonymous on internet and start sharing stuff. Or you can just do a post which reflects on other people's impression about you, opinions about you, and they can just misunderstand what message you're trying to give, and this is gonna shape their opinion about you. And then that's why you have the feeling of pleasing the people, because if you don't do that, they might just misunderstand you, misjudge you. Because everything is so easy nowadays because of internet. Like everything is so easy, turns everything easy and also harder because everything is so sensitive. Like a message can have so many meanings on internet nowadays, which is...
Do you want to explain that maybe to the older people? Why? Because I do think, for example, you did get to the point that I wanted, which is how the new technologies, because I do think this is something that maybe 40 years ago, young people didn't really have to worry about. So if someone would be talking about them on the internet, or if someone posts something that makes you feel a certain way, this wouldn't happen. But today we live very fast-paced lives, and we all live it, especially the younger generations, they all live it through their phones and to the media they kind of consume. And so this is something that that I think it's very fruitful on how you, the younger generation starts to kind of identifying themselves with. And taking up on this, what would you say could be some usable tools to not maybe let this be such a big part of your identity?
I think if you start seeing like on social media a lot of stuff where you'll just notice you're just comparing yourself constantly to those people, just block the person and don't don't think about that. You see things that actually make you feel good, like, oh, this is fun. This not, oh, I wish I was like her. Oh, I need to start eating this way or else I'm not skinny enough. Like, I think social media should not shape you. You should shape your own social media, your own For You pages. And if you are at the point where scrolling on social media just makes you feel like depressed, makes you feel without any sort of energy, like I'm not good enough for anything, maybe something's wrong there. Maybe you need to start, this is only stuff for me to compare myself to and it's not working. So let's maybe block these people, block these themes and get out of social media too. But shape the social media to motivate you instead of just bringing you down.
That's a really good strategy. So sometimes in social media, things just come up, and you have to deal with what is in front of you. So it is very important also that you know who you are as a young person or even as an older adult, to be able to select also the content that you want to be exposed to. So do you feel like while being young, it is your job to keep everyone around you happy?
No.
Or joyful?
No.
Fast and good, yeah, no.
You'll make yourself miserable. You need to be happy first. Then you go.
Not my job, but if it's like the people surrounding me are important people for me, it's still a good thing. I wouldn't say like a responsibility, but I would say as a plus. If you can manage to do that and also keep your mind on the same place, then I think it's a really good thing. If for pleasuring people or like making people happier, sometimes you need to just live yourself a little bit for the others, then it starts being a problem. But if you are capable of doing both, I think it's an amazing thing. Because my personal experience, when I have friends that can also make me happy besides when they are happy, it's like you just feel that something, like someone is doing something for you. And you can also feel the same when you do the same thing for someone else. Like you're fine with yourself, everything's fine, but in the same way you can do something for someone you like to make that person happier. So no, it's not our job, but I think it's a plus.
Yeah, so if you can make other people happy, it's good, but you don't have
It's not your responsibility at all.
to make other people happy. Other people have to make themselves happy.
Yeah.
And this is where most of the times our identity comes to play. Because as frustrating it is and as overchanging it actually is, because as we've already pinpointed, I don't know how many times, we are always interchanging, so we are not always the same thing. We should always, even though we are going through this, we should always be, or try, because of course this is not always possible. And if you go and listen to our third episode on asking for support, we talk about how hard it may be. But the thing is, we might be going through bad or good, but the thing is we should be or try to be comfortable with who we are, because then also accepting that we are not good, it's easier when you are okay with who you are, and this makes just every step of the way a little more easy. And I think with what you were saying, it's not a responsibility, because we all have it's a responsibility to make ourselves be okay, because we should support each other in our struggles, but we should never make this our priority, especially if we are not feeling okay with ourselves, because this will just bring more and more things into our lives. So while being young has all of these things, what would you say, for example, what are, if you could pinpoint, of course, the things that you think makes being young hard nowadays? And then we can talk about the ones that make it very easy to be young.
I didn't get it.
You didn't get it, or you need
No,
time
just
to think?
just the question.
The question is, so what are the things that make being young harder nowadays?
Crickets.
I think it's the feeling that we should be something, not something good, but we should be like active and also like have a bright future, or at least, yeah, that's also something reliable, because what is a bright future? For each person, a bright
Yeah, we
future
could
can
go,
be
yeah.
something completely different. But there is like the bright future for the society. And once we grow up on the same society, everyone, it's like, it's in a genuine way that we have somehow it inside of us that we need this feeling to be something, and it's something that we need to deconstruct. So it is this feeling of we need to be something, or to reach something. The future is something terrible for us, because this something nice
Mm-hmm.
might be nice for the society, but might be not nice for me. I might don't like it. I might don't need it. I might be okay without it,
Mm-hmm.
or I might want more than it. You see?
I think there's also the pressure of being happy all the time because we're younger, so we have less things to worry about. Because it's understandable to some point to older people, because to them, oh, in their time it was way harder than it is right now. But society changes, so it's like the same thing, but in different times. What's
Mm-hmm.
hard for us now, it was the older generations had something that it's like equivalent to that. So basically that pressure of just, you're young, so you don't have any problems right now. You don't need to be complaining all the time.
Do you feel like other people actually think this, that you have no problems?
Something not problem, but it's just something so small, it's insignificant.
I think older people, and what I'm gonna say is like really older people, because probably most part of most part of the people that are like, I would say like till my parents are 45 and they do use internet.
Yeah.
But I like people who really doesn't know nothing about internet. They have no idea how much this can affect on someone's life.
Yeah.
Like they cannot even imagine, because they had no contact with it. And when your contact is since you were a baby, then you're building your mentality based on internet or on social media, because it's something present. Even that your parents want to keep you hidden from it,
Mm-hmm.
it's impossible. On school, you're going to see it. On the streets, you're going to see it. Once you reach like 11, 12, you're going to see it everywhere. You see? So it's something that it's definitely changes a lot of the way that we think.
Yeah, because I was going to add to what you said, that even even older people who use internet, they don't use the internet the same way, for example, young people do. Because, for example, my mother uses Facebook to play games. So she's not even consuming a very specific type of content. Young people don't, I mean, some of them do. But generally, most of us, we use our phones not to be playing games, but to scroll on social media. And this has a totally different effect that older people, because they didn't grow up with it, for example, as we all did, they don't get so connected to that. So to the, for example, endless scrolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the primary question was like, if we really think that older people think that we have less problems, it's not about what they think, it's about they can think whatever they think. They don't have the same experience as us.
Mm-hmm.
So we might have less problems, but our less problems is still our problems. So it is what we are struggling with. And they might have
Mhm.
whatever, had more or even less, because it's also subjective. You could be old and have a great life since you're a kid, like your family always had like a good economic situation.
Mhm.
It also changes on your experience, your personal experience, but that's another reason that just prove that each person has their each path, and their problems, it's still their problems. They can be smaller or bigger, and this is subjective again,
Mhm.
but it's still their own problems, and it's still what they are struggling with.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it's mine, yours, or bigger or smaller. Everyone is struggling with something. It's different, but everyone is. So problems are problems. Everyone has it.
Yes, it almost comes down to the pyramid of needs, and the evolution of society. So a couple of years back, people might struggle with having food on the table, and that's an easier supposedly thing to fix. We just put food on the table and people eat. We organize economics. But when the needs become different, we become more evolved as a society. Our problems are more difficult to address because they tend to be invisible. For example, a lot of people will not be worried about climate change a couple of years back, or even nowadays, or the countries with lower income, that's not a priority because people are worried about putting food on the table, having a place to sleep. When we start improving our life conditions, our needs are different. Therefore, our problems and our issues are different. But sometimes they become more invisible. So it really is a struggle for young people today. So, but I don't know if we have enough about struggles, maybe to a little bit of the discussion. What brings you joy about being young? What is the best thing about being young nowadays?
Just the number of the age. Being able to say, I'm 20, which I'm not anymore, but I really liked. Now I really don't like to say my age, even though I'm still in my 20s.
I can see that you're gonna really judge me because I am someone young and say what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna say it like as I am 40 anyways. I can see that each year that it passes, things are going faster and faster and harder. And like I don't feel the same emotion to do some stuff that I used to do like 2 or 3 years ago. So I can imagine that when years are going through, I will feel even less emotion of doing some stuff. For example, 2 years ago, I would say that I don't know how to give a good example, but I would give more value when my parents would do something special for me, because now it's not that I don't need it, but it's something that it's just okay, I'm fine if it's not happening, but like it's how can I let's take the Christmas magic.
Yeah.
You see, when you're younger and it's like the biggest thing, like I'm gonna get a Christmas gift and it's gonna be under the tree and it has the meaning and everything. But once you get older, sometimes it will be losing the meaning past the years, you see. It will be the same thing, like just opening like your Christmas gift under the tree on the 25, but it will lose the deep meaning for you. And this happens for every thing in your life, at least. Like, for example, right now, I am super excited to finish high school, university and go to work. Super excited to start working.
Well, give it some years.
And base it on
Brace
everyone's opinions, like yours. It's something that in the future I'm not gonna be so excited too. You see?
Might not be
because
true
it's
for you.
something new for me. Right now, a lot of stuff is new for the young people. And once you gain experience, there are gonna be less new things for you to discover. You see, like new challenges. A lot of stuff right now is a challenge for me that I know in 10 years is not gonna be anymore.
Yeah.
And you know, like the vibe of having a challenge, like the adrenaline. That's it. I think some stuff will just like losing the meaning, not because they are less important, but just because we grown up.
Yeah, with age, those things come. But in here, we were trying to go away from the struggles and focus on why being young is good. And you think, for example, the adrenaline is one of the things of why being young is good, or the excitement that things brings to your life, or the things that bring excitement to your life, right?
No, I got it.
Yeah.
I think, like he said before, like new experiences, we still have a lot of things that it's going to be new for us to experiment, and also connections, because when we're younger, we end up having a bit more time and we can also be closer to our closest friends and stuff. But when we're growing up, we're doing our own lives, and it might happen, but we don't usually choose a job just to be with our friend. We choose this job or this course because it's what we want for our own lives. So that ends up just separating in a way. Some connections don't break, but you'll end up having a bit less time for each other because you just have your own lives. So I think one of the good things about being younger is having way more time to those connections and to experiment more new stuff. Like this is new and not something that I've heard before.
And I think time is such an interesting thing, because I do think what I miss more about being younger, not necessarily young because technically I'm young, it's the time aspect of it all, because I just think I've wasted so much time, for example, in my summer vacations from school, because I had 3 months and I didn't know what to do with so much time. And now I have 1 month and I'm like, it's not enough time. And so I think time, for example, it's one of those things that young people have it in such a big number, but we are not aware that we have that much time while we are being young. This is something that when the years progress, you're like, I used to have so much time and now I don't really have that much time.
And I think it's also a little bit not like by the amount of time, but a young person is able to enjoy it better than an older person. Not young. Okay, not young is a good term. Because my parents were not young, they complain that even though they have like the same week vacation as me, they don't have the same energy as me to do. So it's another thing that it's good for me. Not struggling for them because we're avoiding struggling. So it's good for me.
So if you had a choice of having the chance to grow old with time or staying young forever, what would your choice be?
Grow old.
You
Being
would grow
old?
old?
Yeah, because, okay, you're going to be young forever. It will end up, there will be a time that there's nothing new. You'll just stay young forever and you've done everything. So, like, I think it's a beautiful experience to grow old and actually seeing your progress and the connections you'll make. And if you happen to have a family and kids, see them growing too. Yeah.
Every stage of someone's life, it's gonna be interesting and funny and somehow. So if for teenagers, the nice thing is like going out with the friends to the cinema or just like going to the watch the football match. And for someone young, not teenager, it's like to hang out with the friends in the night and then like go to the beach with the friends. And then if you get adult, it's like to spend your weekend with your like girlfriend. If you have kids, to go to with your kids on a family trip. I think every stage of your life, it has its own like pleasure, you see? So I think you can enjoy way more if you pass through all of those stages. You just need to how to deal with it, of course. But I think it has this special thing of each part of your life. I think each part of your life is really important. You can really enjoy it in different ways.
So your choice will be grow older as well.
Yes.
Thank you. And circling back to the idea, the example you gave about Christmas, it really is like that. When you are a young kid, you love Christmas, the presents, and then you start getting, teenager years, young adult years, and then it's like, okay, I did this, already seen it before. But when it comes a time where you grow up and maybe you have kids, sometimes you regain that energy because then you'll be on the other side and you'll regain the enthusiasm. It will come in different shape. Because then you'll see, when I was young, I used to do this. And we ate like codfish. In Portugal, is like eating codfish for Christmas. Even though we did not like it when we were kids, we end up cooking it for our kids that don't like it. On Christmas
we pass
Eve
through something bad and we do the same to the kids.
Yeah.
You see, that's a good example.
That's just life. But honestly, I think Christmas, personally, of course, a tricky example, because some of us are just the opposite of the Grinch and we never lose the magic for Christmas. Because I do think, for example, I'm less excited about the presents as I grow older, but I think that's just how it goes. But I'm always excited about Christmas and the lights and the decoration. So for me, I really feel like only if something goes very wrong, I'll feel less excited because I just love the idea. For me, Christmas, I've been listening Christmas songs till August. We are still in October. We are not even close to Christmas.
Let's deconstruct of you just the sentence of you just said. So when you were younger, the gifts has had more magic. And
Yeah.
right now on Christmas, it has less magic to Christmas. But then you find another thing, not other things from Christmas interesting, like the lights and the decoration, everything. And you know why? Because you are in different stages of your
Yes.
life. You
Yes.
see, the same thing can have different, like, important value,
Yeah.
even though it's about everything about Christmas.
Yeah, no, but this to say, because I do think the overall concept of growing older, which is, it's a beautiful, and I'm really, I wouldn't say pleased because you don't have to please me, but I'm really happy that both of you do see the magic of actually growing older. But one of the things that I do listen is that things are not as fun when you are older, or because you have less energy and you have, and I think this, because you are calling me out on this, and the thing is, it's good that you did, but the thing is, it is about what you said for every part of our life. The things that once excited us might not excite us now, but it doesn't mean that we are older, or we can just be different than what we were. And this is why at the time we cared about this and now we don't. But you can always find other things to be excited about. And for example, so how we use our vacation days. Maybe this year we have the really crappy year. We feel very tired and we don't have energy. But maybe next year we'll have a little more money. Something will go better. So we'll be more excited to go on vacation. So I think this is just the general beauty of life, that we always find ways to have. And we always will find different ways and new things to be excited about. But Christmas for me was just a tricky thing, because I was like, no, not everyone loses interest. Because you said Christmas. Presents, it's a different thing. Because I don't think, for example, I remember being younger, which for me it's a big difference. I would love to have my birthday. So the idea of being a year older was so fun. And I can say that when I started reaching the 25, which I'm not very far away from that, but when I reached that, I was like, I don't want to keep having anniversaries. I just want to stay at the 25. And so, for example, at the moment, not very excited of having more birthdays. I mean, excited to have more life, that yes. But to just have more numbers added up, for example, not excited at all.
I would just like to help backtracking a bit.
Yeah.
I also think that the concept of fun also changes
Yeah.
when you grow, because like when you're younger, usually fun, okay, I'm laughing, I'm just having a lot of energy. And when you grow older, sometimes fun is just sitting down and spending some time with the people you love.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. So my anniversary, like 5 years ago, the special thing for me was like gaining gifts. And right now, my anniversary, the special thing is just being with my friends and family.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn for
The
presents,
gifts.
to be honest.
Yeah.
I just want to spend some time with important people for me.
Just about Christmas. It's almost November, and I'm waiting for the infopagana of Christmas this year. You're late.
No, because just a little context, because people don't actually know me. Just know
That
me. Yeah.
you are a Christmas
Based on
person.
this, I am a Christmas person. So as I've said, I listen to Christmas songs in August. I also happened last year, so I'm seeing it's an operandi for me. This is how I do it. And at our office, I am the crazy person that goes to our superior and is like, we need more decoration. And so I am, as I've said, the opposite of the Grinch, because I make it crazy. So the place is full of lights, balls, Christmas trees, and it's just.
But you
yeah.
are very well organized, so
Yeah, so this year we
It works
haven't
out.
obviously started, and we won't start till December, because even though I'm a Christmas maniac, I'm not crazy.
It's
so-
half of November that you should start.
No, we usually start at the end. So like the day before 1 of December, it's when I ask the
No.
decorations to go up. You just said Christmas was not as exciting, and now you want
Gifts are
to
not
start.
as exciting as much as it was in the past.
But I do think throughout life we will go throughout these things. And for me, Christmas, it's not an example because I just find always different things. And for example, for me, Christmas was always about being with my family, and it's one of the things that it still is about being with my family. I cannot imagine just the idea of going for Christmas and not having my family with me. Just
Thank you for the opinion.
no, this is just, I know for some people, but it depends on the value that you give to different things.
It's my
This is
concept
not-
of fun.
It depends on your concept of fun. And for me, it's just fun to see, my grandfather almost sleeping on the table and me messing up with him. But yeah, but this to circle back to being young and not Christmas.
Yes, but it's also a part of your identity and who you are. And that's most of the things that define us, the things that, as
We
we talked
love,
about, what we love, what we appreciate. So I think that what we heard here today and the things that you shared were very helpful in understanding how we kind of build this identity. And even though with these challenges, it also comes with joys. So thank you so much for sharing what you chose to share. And thank you, everyone, for listening, for coming back to the podcast. Thank you for joining us here today. And remember, if you don't have it all figured out, being you, being young, it is enough. And you should be proud, all of you.
And thank you to our listeners. This is our last episode from Portugal. Currently in Oporto, but we are all, not all, but CGA is based in Agda. And we are very thankful that you listened. And if you want to reach out, we are always here. Thank you.